Hi, this is Herb Shapiro with the Dr. of X channel, and I just tried a very interesting experiment. I just returned on a 4-hour flight from the West Coast, and on that flight, using United Wi-Fi for $12, I tried using an iPad and an Apple Pencil in order to use Tinkercad. So I tried Tinkercad on my iPad with an Apple Pencil at 30,000 feet. Stay tuned. I'll show you what works, what doesn't work, and we'll learn something together. The iPad that I'm going to be using for this exercise is the 9.7-inch Apple iPad that starts at about, $320, $330. I did spend $100 for the Apple Pencil. So this is the entry-level full-sized iPad that was specifically designed to allow an entry-level iPad to have a pencil for use in schools. I just have it on a case I bought on Amazon. What I realized was that Tinkercad may be the very best implementation of an internet-based, an HTML5-based application running on a tablet using the Apple Pencil. The experience was generally good. So let's go to the screen recording and you'll see what I did. Now, I recorded a lot of this session on the actual airplane. I did not record the audio on the airplane. My neighbors would not have appreciated it. I was in a coach seat. It would not have been a good day if I had been speaking out loud for 4 hours. I did come back to my office, record the audio, and I fixed a couple things here and there. I re-recorded a couple segments. For some reason, the time and date is messed up on the recording. I'm not sure why, but you might notice that. Okay, let's turn to the recording and see how this worked out. Since Tinkercad is a web-based application, we need to start by using a browser. And I've tried in both Chrome and Safari, but they both work. On the Tinkercad website, actually in the comments in a forum, which is the only place I really found information about this, they recommend Safari, so I'm going to start by going into Safari. You can see here the last site I went to was Tinkercad, so it automatically logged me in. Let's begin by creating a new design. And I'm using an Apple Pencil for this. I always think of it as a pen, they call it a pencil. You can use your finger, and in fact, you can use the standard Apple motions with your finger for manipulation. So as an example, expanding and squeezing two fingers is used to zoom in. I actually find that quite a bit easier than using the scroll wheel on a mouse. You also can tap on the various surfaces of the cube in order to go to that position, and you can sort of flick up and down on the cube to rotate it that way. I find manipulating the cube works better with a finger than the Apple Pencil. I'm going to go back to the home position. Now, anything I'm going to be doing, theoretically, you could do with your finger. So as an example, I can tap on a box and drag it in. However, I find that for fine manipulation, the Apple Pencil is really a requirement. So if I tap on one of these corners, you'll see a series of numbers come up, just like it does in traditional Tinkercad. If I tap on the corner, I then tap on the number, and I'll be given an option to change that number. So I'm going to make this 40. I'm going to make this 40. And we'll make the top dimension also 40. Okay, now I can move an object around the screen by just holding my pencil on the object and moving it. Now let's drag in a cylinder. We'll make it a little bit taller. We'll drag it over the cube. Now, in order to center things, my favorite tool is the Align tool. The way you select multiple items with the pencil is you double-click quickly and hold it the second time. But if you don't click quickly enough, you'll find you end up moving your work plane, which is what I did there. So I'm going to try it again. You'll see the red lines indicate that I'm in a selection box. I can now go to Align. The Align tool works in exactly the same way. The only impact I'm having of being on an airplane is that getting into the initial screens is a bit slower. I've cut out some of those delays in this video. And complex functions like group seem to be a bit slower. Overall, it works exactly the same. Now we can see here, I'm not exactly sure why, but we were above the work plane, so I can drag it down to the work plane. So Tinkercad in general works exactly the same way on an iPad with a pencil as it does on a computer with a mouse. I'm very, very impressed. I find that the pencil interaction is the best of any interaction I've seen on a web-based application. If we click on the Tinkercad logo, it will save our work on the web and go back to the main screen. And once again, I cut out a little bit of the time there because being on an airplane, the Wi-Fi is not very fast. The one area I had difficulty is if I tap on an item on the main screen, it does come up into the Tinker This download screen. And we can take and download this to our iPad. So I'm going to download the STL file. Now I can go back to Tinkercad. So the only difficulty I found is that I have trouble getting into the little gear on the side of designs. It seems that every time I tap on this, if I hold it down, it seems that the gear does pop up. But you can see I'm having difficulty there. So as an example, if I wanted to delete this, it seems to be a bit more difficult on an iPad. I don't know if that's a bug or it's just something they haven't gotten to yet. This overall has been a very pleasant experience. I'm able to do this on an airplane connected on United Wi-Fi without any difficulties. Thanks so much for watching this recording. In summary, it was a really very pleasant experience. It worked very well. I'll do it again. And in fact, I may start using my iPad more for use even in the office because Tinkercad works great on an iPad. So thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, share it, all of that stuff. Have a great day and let's continue to learn things together.